Hello there, jeanblack here, and today we're going to be talking about something very special. And to be more precise, about the new iFootage Shark Slider Nano 2. And yes, this is not the first slider I've ever had, but this one is so far the most professional one. And first of all, you can use this slider as just a basic slider. But what is really interesting about this slider is you connect the gimbal to this slider. And yes, you might know that I'm not a huge fan of gimbals. I had to spend some time figuring out how to do the whole connection between gimbal and slider, and finally I got it right. So it was working. And it turns out to be quite simple. You don't need to have any additional applications or any additional anything, basically. You just need to have a gimbal. Not any though. You need to have the gimbal that you can detach the battery from. I borrowed a DJI RS2 and it works just perfectly. So basically what you need to do is you need to detach the battery, as I said. Then you need to use one of those many connectors that you get with the gimbal, with the slider. Sorry. And once you've connected this adapter to a gimbal, you can connect the gimbal to your slider. So once you've done that, you are ready to go. Yeah, just like that. As I've mentioned already, you don't need any additional applications. You can just press buttons on the slider itself, program every waypoint, and press start, and it will start shooting. Is it simple? Yes, it is. But you, of course, have the application on your phone where you can do all the same settings but from your phone, which makes sense, to be honest, because sometimes you don't want to go to the slider to fix something. You can just do that from your phone, and that's convenient. Also on the slider itself, you can choose the speed and the time, like a travel time, between each of the points, which makes a lot of sense, especially if you have some particular idea. It's really easy to set those settings. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there are quite a few settings that I didn't use because they are way too complicated for my brain, I think. But I did manage to understand the basic ones, which, thanks God, is more than enough in order to use this slider. One more interesting feature about this Nano 2 slider is multi-target mode. It's really cool, especially if you have a podcast or anything that you need to have like several objects of interest. So you can program each of those objects and the slider will do all the job for you with the gimbal, of course. Overall, it does a fantastic job. It's really silent, it's quick, efficient, and simple to use. This is what I love. This is exactly what I need from every single tech that I use. The simplicity of using. I'm sorry, I don't want to spend my entire life figuring out how to use this piece of equipment. But enough of that, let's talk about the facts. The battery that you need for this slider is a default NP battery. And I've been using this one, which is quite small, and it still has like 50% of its life, which is awesome. I might need to tell you that I've been using this slider for 2 days already on this single battery, still 50%. It is nice. And I want to go back for just a second to the fact that you don't need any applications in order to use this slider, because this is very important. Because I remember myself getting some really expensive tech and I couldn't use it until I get the application. And it's not a big deal, you may say, but no, it is a big deal for me because I have my iPhone on Ukrainian store and some of the applications are not available in my Ukrainian store. So I need to dance around my phone for like 30 minutes in order to just download the application each time. Okay, not each time, but quite often. This one, by the way, is available in my Ukrainian store, but I didn't need that. I was just curious, like, okay, I think I need to download it to look like maybe there are more settings in the application. But actually, no, you can do all the same from the gimbal. Slider, sorry. So yeah, it is really easy to use it, especially for someone who had no idea how to do that the first time. But enough of that. I have one more interesting thing to talk about this slider. I really hope I will learn the difference between slider and gimbal by the end of the video. But anyway, you can connect your DJI Pocket Osmo 3 to this slider and use it as a gimbal, but just with your Osmo camera. Why is it cool? Because it's simple. Yeah, it is really simple. You have this, again, special adapter. You just simply need to insert your camera in this adapter, connect this adapter to the slider, and you're ready to go. Maybe also you need to use the cable, but it's not a big deal. That is, of course, if you want to connect the camera movements to the slider so you could program all the waypoints more, efficiently. But if you don't need that, you can just put the camera and you're good to go. And by the way, for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, every single setting is available. So you can use all of the settings as you did for your gimbal, any kind of, but for your Osmo Pocket 3. Is it cool? Probably. Why probably? I am not sure if I'm gonna use my Osmo Pocket 3 camera for anything more professional than just some lifestyle things. I mean, if I need something more cinematic or professional, I would use my, normal camera. But I guess that's for someone who doesn't have a normal camera, but for some reason got the slider, which is questionable decision, but still, there is an opportunity to do that. And you have all the necessary equipment already in there, so you don't need to spend extra time and extra money learning how to do that. You can just plug in and go. That is fantastic. I did have some problems with connecting and programming the waypoints. I don't know what was the reason. Maybe the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 firmware was out of date, maybe something else, but I did have to press some buttons, some random configurations in order to use it, but eventually I succeeded, and that's the most important. And I really love that these days brands are really trying to make their products easier to use with no applications. Just simple settings and buttons. What I really miss though are buttons. I am still not a huge fan of the touch screen, especially, some little bit of humidity there, here, there, and boom, your screen is not responding to any of your touches. So yeah, what if my fingers are extremely sweaty? What should I do? Have you thought about me? No, of course not. But anyway, this slider is already my 4th slider that I ever used, and it is probably the heaviest one, but it's also the biggest one, I think. I love that you have this option to connect a gimbal or just use it as a, simple slider, because my first slider was just basic one, so you could use it only as a basic slider, just left, right, that's it. And that was, it did the job, but I wish more possibilities, and here we have lots of possibilities. Also, for some reason, my cat was super interested in this slider. This is the first slider ever that I got so much attention of my cat. At some point, I was not sure if I can record anything without him in the frame. I think he approves this slider, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me some time to gather myself and figure out how to use it, because I'm afraid of new tech. I'm an old guy. But on the other hand, I kind of love new features, because when I was just a beginner in this whole video thing or even photography thing, there was nothing, you could use as a beginner and not super expensive. But now we're getting those cheaper and cheaper products that are more and more affordable for, beginners. And now we can use it in order to grow and to be more creative in our fields, which is really fantastic. And I think iFootage did a really great job making and, creating this new tool that we, you and me, can use in our creative areas. This is just stunning. But if you still have any questions about this slider or gimbal, or basically any tech that I used in this video or in any other of my videos, you are free to shoot them just below. In the comments. But as for now, I think that was it. jeanblack, over and out. And don't forget to press the like and subscribe. Come on.